Okay, we are live. How are you doing tonight, Greg?
Hey, I'm doing really good, Brian. How you been?
Good. So I got to ask you, Greg, that intro thing, was it like choppy breaking up for you, or is it just on my side?
Must be just on your side. I thought everything was
Okay.
fine.
Okay, I might be having an internet problem, so hopefully this goes okay tonight. We'll see how it goes. Um, but anyway, it's been basically a year since we've done anything, right? We did a Super Bowl edition for the low carb football party last year, and now here we are again this year.
Yeah, I was trying to think, Brian. Did we do a draft party last year or not? Or was that the year before?
Hmm. I don't I don't think we did. I think it must have been the year before. I think we just did Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I
So
think so. I'd seen that in the history, which is cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We always had a lot of good times at the low carb football party, and it's fun hanging out with everybody. It was just kind of a good time. I miss those days, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we got Jason here. Jason, good to see you.
Jason.
Yes. So the Super Bowl is at Niners Stadium, right? But the 49ers are not in the Super Bowl this year, unfortunately. So, oh well. Boy, it must be my internet. My whole like as I'm talking and stuff, it's like kind of
Go
almost looking
slow.
robotic and everything. Does it sound bad to you?
The voice is fine. It's just the camera's really not matching up,
The
and it's like
camera.
robotic, like you said.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on there. I apologize. I must be having internet issues tonight. There actually was a power outage in my area earlier today. My house wasn't affected, but a lot of people were. So maybe there's issues going on. I don't know. So let's see. Jason says he is 45 minutes. The stadium's 45 minutes away from him. Tickets are just way too expensive. Yeah, I'll eat a ribeye and watch the game. Yeah, I agree.
It'd be fun to go,
Uh,
but it's not probably worth the price of admission.
Cynthia says, "Yeah, your voice isn't matching the face, mouth, etc." I don't know. I'm not sure what I can do about that because it seems like my internet is having problems. So I don't know. But hey, show's got to go on, right?
That's
So
right.
we'll see what happens here. Anyways, it's good to see you, Cynthia. Cynthia, can't talk tonight.
Nice, Cynthia. It's good seeing you.
Okay, so for those that don't know, this is Greg that's with me, and Greg, I have your. Here we go. Greg is at My Weight Loss Life. So Greg and I originally did the low carb football party starting a couple of years ago. Boy, I think we did it for a good year and a half or so. And
Yeah.
then the last show we did, live stream show we did with it was the Super Bowl last year. And we kind of started the whole real talk thing. And then you kind of got busy with moving and stuff. So then I went and started doing the real talk with Johnny. So I've been doing real talk with Johnny since then. So that kind of brings us up to speed with that. Um, and yeah, so tonight we're going to talk a bit about the Super Bowl, give our predictions, stuff like that, and to tie it into low carb, carnivore, and all that stuff. We're going to give some of our favorite recipes that you can have on Super Bowl. Maybe give ideas for best things to do if you're going to a party and you're not sure what kind of food's going to be there, that kind of stuff. And then also we have some trivia, and we're going to do some trivia where in the chat you all can um, comment and see if you're right with the trivia. Now Greg was not able to get the streaming working on his channel, so I've got his channel listed here at My Weight Loss Life, but it won't be streaming tonight. But you can go check him out. He's Greg originally. Well, why don't I stop talking? Why don't you give us a little background about yourself, your weight loss that you had, a couple years ago, and where you're at now with everything and so forth.
Yeah, I was going to say in January of 23, I decided to go on I needed to make some changes in my life. I wasn't working. I was basically disabled and decided that I needed to do something about my weight. And I decided to go with a low carb diet. I thought that would be best because I had so much arthritis in my back. I couldn't move a lot. I couldn't lift a lot. I couldn't do a lot of exercise, or was pretty inactive with just hurting and in pain. So I decided to try a low carb diet and had a lot of success. I think in a couple months in, I was down like 40 pounds, and I was starting to feel quite a bit better. And as time went on, I continued to drop weight. I would say I did a lot of low carb, and then at first, and then it went to ketovore, did some carnivore in there as well for some periods of time. So I guess I'm kind of familiar with all those a little bit, and they're all similar. They're still all low carb, ketogenic type diet, but people have preferences on what works for them, and it's just one of those things that I think in 8 months, it's like in eight months and 1 week, I'd lost 100 over 100 pounds. So doing this kind of lifestyle of eating, and it made a big difference for me. And it wasn't long after that I started going back to work again. I've been working ever since. And I was going to say I haven't done a whole lot until just recently on my YouTube channel. It just, life got super busy for me. I had, not last year, but the year before, in 20, that have been what, 24, I had lost my mom in the spring. And that's kind of when I quit doing YouTube in a way. I would say I didn't do so much after that. And I had two daughters get married that year as well. One in July, one in October. And then since we decided to move to Omaha, Nebraska from northern Iowa, and my daughters both got married and lived here in Omaha. My wife and I decided to get jobs down here and move down after living in North Iowa our whole life. So there's been a lot of different experiences along the way. It's been quite the journey, been really busy. And then just recently, my mother-in-law passed away in December. So she had some health things going on, and it's just, life's been really busy, but it's good to be back and putting out some content again. And I really like to use my creative side, and it's just nice to be back. And hopefully on my channel, you'll see more videos, more editing, some of that stuff. Right now, I'm putting out just a lot of basic, I go on lunch, take a quick 5-minute video and put it out there so people can kind of follow along on my weight loss journey. I will say this, I did gain a little bit of that weight back because I did not stay on the lifestyle. Once, I want to say, I kept it off a while, but as life got busier, we moved and everything else. I kind of, there's days where I was low carb, and then the next day I wasn't. So I put a little weight back on, and not anywhere near where I was, but I decided I need to get back to it because you just feel so much better. And that's kind of where we're at today, Brian. Like 5 weeks into the plan. I'm only like 10 pounds down. A little disappointing for me, but I can't complain. It's, some people don't always drop weight, and I want to say I've been probably more ketovore-ish than anything. I've had a little bit of trouble this time with my stomach. Basically, I had this last week, I cut out eggs because I was having a lot of troubles with my stomach. Now, in the past, I did not have a lot of problems. I don't think I really had any keto flu. My body did adjust a little bit, but I got over it pretty quickly. But this time it's kind of stuck around. So I'm trying to navigate that and get on track where I'm feeling 100% and feeling really good. So that's kind of where I'm at today, I would say, Brian.
Okay. I just got back. I don't know if my screen went blank or not, but I missed like the last couple of minutes, but I know the story, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is going to be better. I switched to my cell phone. I created a hotspot on my cell phone.
Okay.
And I'm going off of this. Hopefully this is better.
It's a little glitchy, but we can hear you.
Okay. I apologize. Of course, this has got to happen tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me catch up to a couple of people that are here in the chat. Paul is here, so I want to say hello to Paul. And he's talking about some things he does, it looks like, for the Super Bowl. I do thick slices of salami and sandwich pepperoni toast on one side Flip in the pan, top with cheese, cook till melted, cool a bit. Enjoy, be creative in cheeses and other toppings. Sounds good. Bacon
That
Runner
sounds
is
good.
here. So
Hi, Bacon
hello.
Running.
Of course, we had Cynthia and Jason earlier. Um, let you know what? Let's do one of our trivia questions right now.
Yeah,
Does that
that
sound
sounds
good?
good.
All right. uh, so I'm just gonna pick one of them I got in here. Okay, here we go. This is the second meeting between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Who won the first time and what controversial play happened at the end of that game? So if you think you know the answer, go ahead and put it in the chat.
I
Do you think
remember
you
that one,
know this one,
Brian. It
Craig?
wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, I was like, I think it was 10, 11 years, 10 or 11 years ago, something like that, 12 years ago, something.
Is it
So
already
it
that
wasn't,
long?
yeah, it, or maybe it was 9 years, something like that. It was somewhere in that range, about 10 years or so. So I don't know if anybody in the chat is going to know this one, but we will see if anybody does. If you think you know it, you can go ahead and put the answer in. Um, while we're waiting for that answer, uh, let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. So we know it's the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Um, and I don't know. I think let's just go ahead and give our predictions instead of waiting until later. Why not?
Yeah, no, that sounds
Um,
good.
and I'll give mine first. It's funny because my wife asked me earlier if on this live stream if I was gonna like give a pick and so forth, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, who are you gonna pick? I'm like, I don't know yet. Like, I really don't know because to me this is like such a toss up, right? I think if I remember correctly, Seattle is favored. I believe.
I would say so, probably. I didn't look, but
Yeah,
I would be guessing they would be.
but it's an interesting matchup because you got Derek May, who's fairly young, and then you got Sam Darnold, who basically the Jets completely gave up on, right? And then he was with Minnesota and did really well, and they
Yeah,
didn't re-sign him, and they got the rookie guy that well now he's second year this year, right? And
yeah,
they
what a
could have had
mistake.
him instead. So it's an interesting matchup. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to go with Seattle though, and I'm gonna say the score is going to be uh 23-21 Seattle.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I definitely think I think it'll be a closer game than people realize because I think a lot of people are predicting Seattle to just pretty much win it pretty easily because they have a very good defense.
Mm.
And then, of course, Drake May's a young quarterback. The team's pretty young. First year head coach. I mean, for New England, he was at Tennessee Titans before. And I'm trying to think if he's been at New England 1 year or 2 years, but he's been around a while. He played for the New England Patriots. I'm talking about Mike Vrabel. He played for them back when they won some Super Bowls, and then he was coach of the Tennessee Titans for a while, and now he's, of course, in New England. Good football coach. You never know. It's one of those things that you just don't know. You never know what could happen in these games. Turnovers happen. Um, Personally, I mean, it's one of those things. I'm going to pick Seattle to win the game. I think it'll be fairly close. I want to say I'll go with 24-13. I think it'll
Okay.
be a little bit more of a point spread than what you picked, but I think it's one of those things that you just never know. Though I mean, I wouldn't count New England out. I like Drake May. I want to see him do really well. So I'm kind of cheering for him at the same time. Though being I'm as a Viking fan, Sam Darnold, I'm cheering for him as well. And I was really disappointed when the Vikings didn't re-sign him because I thought they made a huge mistake, and they
Mm.
did. obviously. But it's one of those things. It'll be really interesting to see how it all shakes out. But it should be a good game and a lot of fun.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the chat here. I think we have a couple of comments about our question. So Cynthia says, my husband says New England, but doesn't know the play. Okay. And he says Seattle will win this one. Paul said I was 10. Remember Bart Starr in the first 2 Super Bowls. And then DC Wisconsin said, yep, Bart Starr quarterback sneak. So let me go back to the question. Where is it here? So I don't mean the second Super Bowl, but I mean this Super Bowl is the second meeting between New England and Seattle. Who won the first time that these 2 teams met in the Super Bowl? So it wasn't Super Bowl 2, so it wasn't Bart Starr, who was with Green Bay. So this is New England against Seattle. So just to clarify that. And let's go ahead and give the answer.
I was going to say, I remember Russell Wilson was in on that final play. That was kind of a thing. People were questioning the play calling. That was a big one on that play that happened late in the game.
Yeah. So here we go. The Patriots won 28-24 in 2015. So there we go. It was 11 years ago. Super Bowl.
11 years already.
Yeah. That'd be what? Super Bowl 64? No, 4. I can't.
Something 9.
59, right? 59. Is that right?
Well,
are we that far? No.
X would be 50.
I hate how they do this. XL would be 50, and then IX would be 9, I think, right?
Yeah, IX would be 9.
So I guess that'd be 59 if I wrote that down right. Maybe I wrote that down wrong because I thought this is only like Super Bowl 64.
This is year 60, or in the 60s. So I think it's
yeah, I might have that wrong. But anyways, it was 2015. Okay. The game was famously decided by an interception at the goal line on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle had Marshawn Lynch, who was a very, very good running back at the time. Very strong guy as well. And instead of running the ball on 2nd and goal with 16 seconds left, they tried to throw it and it was intercepted and they lost the game. So that was the controversial thing that happened in that one.
Yeah, that was quite the game.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so where are we? So yes, Jason says Marshawn Lynch didn't get the ball. INT by Russell. Yep. Just remembering. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the comments up here. Here we go. There we go. Okay, this year is 60. So I think I had those numbers wrong. That would have been 11 years ago. So that should have been 49.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, which there was a 9. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what
I think I just wrote it wrong.
That's
yeah, Marshawn Lynch was definitely mad after that. Yeah. I remember that.
A lot of people were mad.
Okay. All right. So let's add a little bit of low carb carnivore into this. And talk a little bit about some of our favorite foods. Let me go back out of this. There we go. That we like to do for the Super Bowl. Greg, I'll let you go first. What do you got for us?
Well, you know what, Brian, what I like to do, usually you go to a party and there's some kind of meat and cheese tray. I take the cheese tray and I snuggle it, or I should say I smuggle it into the closet and just chow down and then bring it back empty. That's what I like to do.
That's a great one.
Just kidding. I mean, granted, anytime you have meat and cheese, I mean, you definitely help yourself, but obviously you got to watch the cheese a little. But That's number one thing to find first is where's the meat and cheese tray. And obviously, if
Yeah.
they have burgers or hot dogs, those are another great thing to grab. And it's funny. I was
Mm.
going to send you a trivia question today. Wondering, I kind of just was trying to figure out. I wonder how many hot dogs get eaten during the Super Bowl. And
Mm.
actually, I asked AI and kind of it gave me a generic answer, sort of, but they said, well, it's like 150 million worldwide that get consumed during the Super Bowl, which I think is
Wow.
a tremendous amount. I was kind of surprised, but not really. I mean, just at the game alone, it was like 20,000 hot dogs. So
Cynthia doesn't want you to eat the meat and cheese tray at her
yeah,
Super Bowl party. Oh,
but no, that's kind of what I look for, I guess, when I go to a party. Is, hey, where's the meat? Where's the cheese? Those are good, solid items. If you're low carb, you may be able to get by with doing some pickles. Um, some things that maybe have a little bit of carbs, but necessarily aren't meat. You look for those. Obviously, stay away from the chips. Grab the pork rinds if they got them. Bring your own, right?
hmm.
How about you,
Yep.
Brian? What do you like to do, or what do you look for?
Well, if I'm making the food, one of my favorite things for Super Bowl is chicken wings. So I will cook them in an air fryer, and basically I just salt them, and then when they're done, I do melted butter over them to give them a little bit more flavor there, and a little bit of fat and so forth. Um, so that's one of my favorite things to make. If I'm going to a party, um, first thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to eat something before I go there just to make sure that I'm not too hungry when I'm there, because if I'm too hungry and I see all the different foods, that's going to give me more temptation. So I'm going to try and eat a little bit before I get there. And then I'm just going to stick like with basic stuff that seems to be the healthiest. Like, sometimes people have meat there, but it's got like a lot of different sauces and stuff on it. And I'm not going to be into that. So I might have to be a little choosy. If I'm going to a place where they know that I'm going to be there, though, there's probably a good chance that they're going to have a good amount of meat that's going to be pretty plain just for me, because they know that's what I'm going to like with being on the carnivore diet. So that's the kind of thing I'm going to do there. Um, Something that I hadn't been able to do for Super Bowl yet that I think I'm going to do this year is something that my wife found on TikTok, and she it was for my birthday. She made it for me. It's a carnivore cake, and after I talked about it, other people have talked about. Oh yeah, I think it was Kelly Hogan or somebody like that has talked about that before, and a lot of people like it and so forth. Um, so anyway, it's like three ingredients. It's eggs, heavy cream. Or the heavy cream is for the icing, right? The frosting, and so it's eggs and butter, I think maybe is all for the cake mix. I can't remember. Something like that, but it's all completely carnivore.
I think I
And
saw that video you made on it too. They did look pretty good.
yeah, it looks really good. It's a little bland. So if you're used to regular cake, you're gonna be like, this is kind of bland. But for me, it wasn't bad, because I'm not used to very sweet stuff. So I kind of liked it. So that was something that I'm looking forward to doing this year.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little treat, once in a while. There's definitely some options out there. Philadelphia cream cheese is another thing to look for. Sometimes we like to put that on if you don't mind eating like lunch meat, you can put that on
Mm,
lunch meat, and that's pretty good too. My wife likes to make it where she puts a pickle in it and rolls it up. We call it Lutheran sushi here in the Midwest, but it's just one of those things. It's just like lunch meat. Spread some Philly cheese on it, put a little pickle spear inside, and roll it up and eat it that way. It's a low carb item, so granted, like I said, it's more it has the pickle in it, so It's not necessarily
Yeah.
carnivore, but that's one of those things. You aren't going to have any carbs there, so not a bad thing.
Yeah. So Paul says Bart Starr was the MVP of the first two Super Bowls. He got a Corvette as a prize each time and sold them to charity. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick another one of our trivia questions to put out here. And since we've talked a little bit about Bart Starr and the first couple of Super Bowls, we're going to pick one of those. So here we go. I think some of the people at least might know this. Which two teams played in the very first Super Bowl in 1967?
I know one, but I'm not sure if I know the other one.
I was actually surprised about the second one. I didn't. I knew the one for sure, but I didn't know the other team. So kind of
I'd
surprised
have
me.
a couple of choices on that one, probably. I can't remember. That's a little before my time. Not much, but a little.
Yeah, a little
I'm
bit
trying to
for me
think what
too. So
I think I remember the Vikings being on TV when I was a kid because they went to like some Super Bowls and lost every single one of them. But I kind of vaguely remember that. But I would have only been like, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that.
So Carnivore Jerry is here. Hello. She says Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I can, as a Lions fan, I can tell you it was not the Detroit Lions because unfortunately, we have never been to a Super Bowl. Never. The last time we played for a world championship was like 1950. That was before they had Super Bowls. So you do got one of the teams right, though. It is Green Bay Packers is one of the teams. And Paul also says Packers for sure. So
Brian, I'll give you my guess. I want to say I
DC
know
was
the Packers is one of them, and I can't
okay.
remember if it's the Chiefs, the Cowboys, Colts, or Steelers would be my guess for the other team. I don't know. I can't
Okay.
remember which one for sure. Chiefs, I want to say, but I don't know.
All right. So DC, Wisconsin says Packers and the Cowboys. The Packers is right. The Cowboys is wrong. Paul says the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Then DC says Chiefs and Packers. Spanky's here. He says the New York Jets. Cynthia is the queen of Google searching, but she won't do that. I don't know anything about football. I will tell you, it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So let me go back.
Lombardi
It
was the
was
coach,
the
right?
Green Bay Packers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl I in 1967.
Is it Hallis that was who's the coach of the Chiefs back then?
Oh wow, I have no
It's
idea.
not Lombardi. Is it Hallis or I don't remember. I just there's another trivia. There's a trivia question for the audience. Hey, look it up and tell us what the answer is.
Yeah. You can look that one up, Cynthia. Oh. Okay, so let's talk again about some low carb foods. Yeah, Lombardi was with Green Bay,
Yeah,
right?
I think
Yeah,
maybe
it's just who's
Hallis, but
with the
I'm not
Chiefs.
sure for Kansas City.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. So low carb type of foods, Super Bowl. Do you have any other ideas? Because if not, I do have other ideas here I can pull up. Any other ones you want to talk about?
I think no, not really. I mean, I think as long as I guess the other thing I'd talk about is a liquid. Make sure you bring something to drink. Whether it be water, something that's going to be friendly to your whatever you're eating, what type of plan you're on. That way you can keep full on that as well, in case there's not a lot to eat or you didn't eat before you went. Because that helps. Anytime you drink water, it helps suppress the hunger. But I'm big on bacon. I love bacon too. You can bring bacon, and it satisfies a lot of urges. So
Yeah. Okay. Um, so if you are again making your own food, so let's say it's your own party, whatever. A lot of people like to get pizza on the Super Bowl, but pizza isn't very low carb friendly. However, you can do a chicken crust pizza and make your own pizza, right?
yep.
So there's a lot of different recipes out there for doing like a chicken crust, or I think there's an egg crust one I've seen before, stuff like that. So you
Hmm.
can do that, and then you can load it up with different meat toppings that you want to put on it, and your cheese and so forth. Um, and I see some people that want to get really strict with it and don't really use any sauce, or you can do make it more low carb and then use like a light um, pizza sauce type.
Yeah,
So that's a good option. Uh,
definitely.
if though, let's say you're going to somebody else's party and let's say they have pizza there. Well, if they have like a meat pizza there or pizza like with pepperoni or something, what you can do is you can take a piece
Over top.
and scrape off the cheese and the topping, right? And yeah, and basically eat that. And if you want to try and stay away from the sauce as much as possible, get some paper towels and just dab up the sauce off the cheese. You're just gonna have a little bit of residue at that way, so it's gonna keep it fairly low carb at that point. So that's a good option if you're going to one.
Yep.
All right. Let's do another Super Bowl trivia question. And we're going to shake this up a little bit. What brand's Super Bowl commercial famously featured a man proclaiming, "I'm on a horse"? Let's see if anyone knows this one.
I'm
Do you
not
think
even
you know
sure,
this one?
Brian. I gave you the questions and answers.
He did. He did. He doesn't know. He doesn't remember this one. Yes. Greg did give me these questions and answers, by the way. That's funny that you don't remember. This is kind of a tough one, I got to admit. Um, but then when I give the answer, you're probably gonna be like, "Oh yeah, okay." Yeah, Paul says no clue whatsoever. It is very tough the way it's worded. Budweiser, that's a good answer. It's
With the
not correct, but
Clydesdales.
that's a good answer because of the
Hmm.
horses, the Clydesdales.
Hmm.
That's not the correct answer we're looking for, but close. Bacon Runner says Old Spice. DC Wisconsin says Doritos. Hmm.
There's been a lot of Doritos ads in all the Super Bowls. I know
Yeah.
that. Anytime Pepsi
Okay.
and Doritos or Frito Lay are in they usually have a lot of commercials.
Are we ready for the answer?
Yeah,
Here we go. It is Old Spice. The
there you
man
go.
your man could smell like was the name of the commercial.
Very
So,
good.
congratulations, Bacon Runner. You
Bacon
got it
runner,
right.
yes.
Spanky did as well down here. I see Old
Yep.
Spice.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Oh, that is a good one. I'm going to do another one right now just for the heck of it. I got a ton of these, and I don't know if we're going to use them all, but that's okay. Um, this one might be kind of easy, but that's okay. It could be a trick question too, so we'll see. Which brand's 1993 Super Bowl ad featured Michael Jordan and Larry Bird playing a game of horse over a Big Mac? So it could be an easy question, or it really could be a trick question. So let's see if people get it right. Do you have any ideas here, Greg?
Yeah, definitely. There's one of two things. Two major brands is what I'm thinking of. That it could be about. So, and it could be both in one commercial, kind of. So,
Hmm. I think I know where you're going.
I I remember that commercial too.
Do you? I
Yeah.
don't think I do. So Paul says McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a solid
The
guess.
Big Mac, that sounds like a pretty solid answer. We'll
Hmm.
wait and see if there's any other answers here before we give the answer. While we're waiting to see if there's any other answers, um, if you were to go to McDonald's, let's say you were out driving, right? Like out of town, on the way out of town or something, you had to go to McDonald's. What would be the food that you would order to try and to stay on plan?
You know, for me, I would just order some beef patties off the a la carte. Just order so many beef patties. I think that would help a person, and I think quite a few people do that actually. And they're not that bad. I can't remember if they're like a dollar something each, or I'm
Mm,
not sure. It's been a while since I've done that myself, but I've seen videos on people doing it. And it wasn't that bad. They just get order a quarter pound patty or a couple and do that. So
yeah.
that's probably one of the best things you could do.
Okay. So Paul had told us McDonald's. DC, Wisconsin is also saying McDonald's. I think Spanky's saying that he would get a quarter pounder if he was at McDonald's. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
he's probably take the bun off. Probably is what he was thinking. But yeah, that'd be a good option.
Probably
So
my
let's go back to the question.
I'll give you my
Was that
guess. I don't
okay?
remember what it said, but I mean obviously it leans McDonald's, but would Coca-Cola be involved with that as well?
Mm,
Because I know they're kind of big on they advertise Coke a lot for McDonald's. So I don't know. That's
that's a
the two
good one.
companies
I
I
didn't
think of
think
when I
about
think of
that.
that.
I thought you were going to go with Nike because of Air Jordans, but
Oh, sure.
that's a good option too.
Yeah.
All right. So the actual answer is McDonald's.
Yeah.
It wasn't a trick question. It was just an obvious one. So good job to everybody that got that one right. Oh, just had the Clydesdale teaser ad, huh? Interesting.
So Brian, what
Okay.
would you order at McDonald's?
Um, let's see. So I think I did this not too long ago, maybe like 6 months ago. I was out of town and I, we're driving and that was what was there. And I actually did the, I'm trying to remember if it was a quarter pounder or it was the double quarter pounder. I think I did, I think I did two double quarter pounders. I took the buns off. Here's the problem. I didn't realize they had like onion and ketchup and stuff like that.
Oh,
So I scraped that stuff off as best as I could, but I could still really kind of taste the ketchupness. So I didn't like that as well. So I probably should have just done like you said and ordered just the burger patties, maybe burger patties with cheese, something to that effect.
yeah.
So Bacon Runner says, Budweiser Clydesdale commercials make me want a puppy, not a beer. Speaking of puppy, you know what has gotten really popular in the last several years during the Super Bowl is the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the Puppy Bowl?
I don't know if I've watched it in its entirety. I've seen clips of it, I know, but I know it's been pretty popular.
Yeah, I've watched it before. I think they have this is like Team Rough versus Team Fluff or something like that. And then at halftime, it's like the kitty halftime show and their cats doing the halftime show and stuff. It's crazy. But it is kind of cool watching the dogs and all the dogs that are on there, even the cats at the halftime, they are all up for adoption or they've just more recently been adopted. And it's all about adopting, the rescue animals and so forth. So
Yeah, that's a great cause, a great thing to do. So
yeah. Bacon Runner says she's never watched the Puppy Bowl.
time to tune in
And
this
DC,
year.
Wisconsin. What's that?
Time for them to tune in this year and watch it. I guess I'll try to pay more attention too.
Yeah. I think it's on earlier in the day at like noon or something
Yeah,
like that. So yeah. DC, Wisconsin says my daughter likes the Puppy Bowl. When my kids were younger, we used to watch it all the time with them. So they were Ed McMahon, Carson owned the horses. Is that for the Budweiser commercials that we're talking about?
I think so.
Cynthia's got a dog that is ready for the Puppy Bowl. All right. We're going to go to another trivia question, I think. Let me see if I can find a good one
So
here.
Brian, while you're looking for that, I was going to ask you: do you have like a little Super Bowl party with your family on the Super Bowl day, or do you do any like do you have food and stuff like that, and just kind of make it a special day?
We have in the past, especially when the kids were all here and younger. I don't know that we're planning anything this year, to be honest. Plus, I'm actually on call for work, and I have to take a few meetings during the Super Bowl because we have to make sure that everything is okay
Oh,
with
that's
the
right.
network and so forth.
Yeah,
And it's the second year in a row I'm actually got to do
yeah. I
that.
remember you
So
having to do that.
yeah. Okay. Did we did that one? Oh, we did that one. Oh yes, I like this one. Okay, here we go. Another commercial. What brand Super Bowl ad became a cultural catchphrase with people yelling "What's up" at each other?
That was one of my favorites of all time, I would say.
Oh,
You know, that
somebody's
was
got to
like in the
definitely know this one.
that was like in the 90s. I saw that the other day. I want to say, was it 99? That's how long
Probably,
it's been.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy that it's been that long, though, isn't it?
You know, I'm
Doesn't
surprised
seem
they
like it's
haven't
been that long.
remade it with newer people in today's world, because there's a lot of people that don't remember that or never seen it before, and it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I think that that'd be one way to win some customers back, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's just a delay or nobody actually knows this one because there's been no answers yet. That's interesting.
It might take a little bit of time, but yeah, if you know the answer,
Hmm.
throw it in the comments. We want to see it.
Yeah.
And
Um.
if you're watching this later, a tape delay or whatever, you can play along at home. And
Yeah. Put it in the comments afterwards. DC, Wisconsin says no clue. Cynthia says Budweiser. Paul's not big on commercials. I kind of am not either. You know what's funny? Like I remember last year watching the Super Bowl, and I don't know, like my wife and my daughters, their big thing is always to watch the commercials. And I'll sit there and I'll be like, yeah, that wasn't really that funny. And they're like laughing and stuff. Like, oh, that was great. Like, no, it wasn't. Can we get back to the game? Cynthia says her husband drove her crazy with the what's up. Some computer tech thing. It's Paul's answer. You know, it's interesting too, like over the years, how the the type of ads for the Super Bowl have changed, right? Like I
mhm.
remember, I guess it was probably more like 80s and 90s, or at least early 90s, was a lot of beer commercials,
Yep,
stuff
beer
like
and
that.
pop. Yep.
Yep. Then we kind of
Yep.
hit um the internet time frame there, and there was like a lot of tech company
Yep.
commercials, and then
Apple
kind of had
was
that
around.
bubble. Yep. And I guess I'm trying to think because I haven't paid attention in the last couple of years. What's really been the big thing the last couple of years?
You know, the other thing that there all seems to be a lot of nowadays is car commercials. There's a lot of different brands of
Okay,
cars.
car commercials.
You see
Yeah.
a lot of different car commercials, but Yeah, there's nothing that, I mean, to me, they aren't as good as they used to be, the commercials. But what's
Carver
up?
Jerry says, repeat the question. So the question, what brand Super Bowl ad became a cultural catchphrase with people yelling, "What's up?" at each other? And we're
The
going to go
answer
ahead and give the
is
answer.
it
It
was
is
guessed Budweiser.
Budweiser.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
If you have not seen that, you need to look it up because it is a classic.
Yeah. There was, and I think this was in one of your trivia ones as well, but I didn't put it in here. But there was another Budweiser one that was crazy
The
with the
frog,
frogs.
yes, that one
There
was
was
a that was probably a
one
good
would
one
say
too.
Bud, and then one would say Wise, and the other would be like
Yeah,
Remember that?
that one was really popular too.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I guess I got to figure out because it's Thursday. I got to figure out if we're really doing anything for the Super Bowl this year. DC, Wisconsin says, love the frogs. Cynthia has done well on the Budweiser answers.
You
That's
know,
funny.
I must say, Brian, I like my beer too.
Oh, that's all good. All right. I think we're going to go with one more trivia question. Let me find it
Hey,
because I
if
kind of
everybody
went out of
wants to put
order.
anything in the comments on what you like to eat for your Super Bowl parties, please share. We'd like to see ideas and what everybody else likes to do.
Yeah. Okay. And the last trivia question I think we're going to do. What is the name of the trophy awarded to the winner of the Super Bowl? I think a lot of people might know this one. We'll see.
That should be an easy one.
DC, Wisconsin says Lombardi. That might be a correct answer. We'll see. It might be. Excuse me. So let me ask you, do you when you get to the Super Bowl, like, so for me, I'm pretty much just drinking water all the time. Occasionally I have some kind of like a sparkling thing, but it's mostly just water. Uh do you maybe ease up a little bit and drink something different because it's the Super Bowl, or do you stay pretty strict?
I would say I'm probably not as strict on my beverage choice as I would be like some of the food. Because I drink water, I drink Diet Pop, I will drink a Michelob Ultra, because that's only got like a couple of carbs in it. I will drink that on occasion too, because I do enjoy a beer once in a while. I don't drink too much beer in the wintertime. It's more in the summertime when it's warm. But yeah, I mean, I kind of whatever I'm feeling like, I guess for the most part. But I do like to mix my amino energy drinks still. I drink those quite a bit. Obviously, you drink some water. That's a big one. So
Hmm.
for me,
Okay. So Paul guessed Lord Stanley Cup,
Stanley
and I
Cup.
think he might have been joking with that. That is actually hockey,
Yes, it
which
is.
he might have already known that one. But Carnivore Jerry says Vince Lombardi Trophy. I think this was probably a fairly easy one, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna go. It's the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Yep.
So, yes, the legendary coach of the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? I just decided we're going to do one more trivia question because I
That's all
have it in
right,
here.
Brian.
We're going to do last question. I mean it this time. How many Super Bowls have the New England Patriots won?
How many
And
rings does Brady have on his finger?
I can tell you that the Patriots have won the most Super Bowls of any team. So you want to think higher than like 3. But how many do you think they've won? Cynthia says she drinks warm lemon water with a bit of electrolytes. Husband calls it piss water. Oh gosh.
I think her husband's correct.
Spanky says 6 for the Super Bowls. We'll see if he's right. That sounds like it could be a pretty good number. Is that how many Brady has won? 6? Has he won that many?
No, he's won more.
Did they win Did they win? Well, that's right, because he won with Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Did they win any Super Bowls without Brady before Brady? I wonder.
I don't know. So.
I don't think
so
either.
Some pretty good football teams that played in the Super Bowl, but I don't think they won.
Yeah. Carnivore Jerry says 8. So we'll see if that's right. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot though that he won that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay right after he left.
Maybe this will help. How many rings does Brady have? Is it 8?
I have no idea.
7 or 8.
He might have 10. He might have one on every finger. They may not all be Super Bowl rings though. I don't know. DC, Wisconsin has no clue. Jerry says, I do pretty good on the Wisconsin questions.
My guess would be, I don't remember. I didn't even look. I think it was, I'm guessing it'd be 6 or 7, but I think Brady has 8 rings, but I'm not sure. One was with Tampa, of course.
I know he won the one with Tampa Bay. So that was the only one outside of New England, right? It was just the one?
I'm thinking it might be 6.
Okay. Well, the answer is 6. So that means he's got 7 then if he won the one with Tampa Bay. I forgot about that. Yeah. So there you go. Wow. All right.
Hey, Brian, I wish I had it down here, but I tend to eat some cheese, and they have an awesome party pack of cheese at Costco. It's like $12.99, but it's got 4 types of cheese. It's all cut up, and it's big. I mean, we bought one that lasted like 3 weeks. But man, it's a party tray. Those are nice. They have them at Sam's Club as well. Those are great things to grab. Like I said, not everybody always eats cheese, but it's one of those things that, man, I like having it around. It's a good, quick snack. Doesn't seem to throw me off on my weight loss or anything. So, everybody's a little bit different on that. So,
yeah, I kind of have to be a little careful of cheese. I love cheese, but I got to keep it just a little bit. If I go too much, it gives me trouble. Yeah. It's interesting. Wegmans. I don't know if you've heard of that grocery store, but if you have a Wegmans around you, check them out and see. They tend to be a little high on their meat prices. And I was there the other day, yesterday I think it was, and they had 1 pound packages of ground beef for like $6.79 a pound or something like that. So I'm like, I'm not going to find anything good here, right? And I kept going, and then I found a section where they had these big like 6 pound packages of ground beef, and they were $4.99 a pound.
Nice.
So I got a little over 6 pounds for $30. I should have got 2. I only got 1 of them though. But so if you got a Wegmans by you, go check that out because that's a great deal, especially when you look at most of their prices are more expensive. And then they had that, and it wasn't like it was price reduced. It was the regular price that they had for it. So I guess when you go to Wegmans, you just got to kind of buy it in more of a bulk. But that's an option if anybody has a Wegmans, buy them.
Brian, I like to buy my ground beef in bulk, and then I use my scale and put it in baggies. And usually you can get stuff pretty cheap that way, or pretty reasonable, I think. I
Yeah.
tend to do that, and it works pretty good. That, and I like to buy sirloin in a big chunk, top sirloin. I get a lot of that. That's affordable. Usually it's 8 something a pound. I can get a lot of steaks out of a big roast. Granted, I use some butter to fatten it up, which you got to do, but I enjoy
Mm.
the texture, and it's pretty filling meat. It's just really good. So,
There's a question for you, Greg. Cynthia says, Greg, did you ever check out Burrish? Did I
it's
say that right?
yeah, it's like a store, if I'm not mistaken. I have not checked it out yet, but I live on the northwest part of Omaha, so I'm like, if I'm driving to Council Bluffs, it's like 25 minutes to get there. So just to get over the border, takes me a little bit of time, but I will check that out sometime. I haven't had the chance to look yet, but I'll have to check that out.
So she says they're going to stock up on ground prime rib for $3.75 a pound. Wow.
Wow. Which is that which town is that in? Or is that
I
where
might
it's
have to
at?
make the 15-hour drive myself just to get the 375 a
Yeah. Yeah, we do. That's the one thing I will say with Omaha. We have a lot of more butchers and more selection here
pound.
for me to choose from. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah, that makes
it makes it
sense.
nice, and plus we have Costco, Sam's Club, all that stuff too. So I like to go to both. I go to both Sam's Club and Costco, and I do like to hit the local butchers too. So it's crazy how much meat has gotten to be just in the last couple of years. Hopefully it comes down in price because it's up there, but it's still
Yeah.
doable if you shop smart, look for the deals, look out for I like to go into Hy-Vee and look out for the closeout stickers because you'll see like a reduced price, and they'll have it really cheap because the date's that day or whatever. Sometimes I do that. Look for the date stuff that's coming up because they want to get rid of it. So, and you can just throw it in your freezer. It'll be fine. So,
Yeah. So Cynthia says that they go to Coolridge, but David City would be closer to you.
okay. I'll have to check that out. Speaking
Yeah.
of prime rib, I'm going to probably go get some this weekend. Actually, we have a gift card that I got a year ago for a place called Jericho's, and they have the steaks and the prime ribs and all that stuff. And I think my wife and I are going to go there this weekend to enjoy some prime
Nice.
rib. It's not every day you get to eat that, but it should be delicious. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we're coming up to an hour, and I know we kind of said we were looking to try and do this about an hour. So again, we'll give our picks here, and I don't remember your exact pick, so I'll let you give your pick. But I picked 23-21 Seattle over New England for the Super Bowl. What is your pick?
I'm going to pick Seattle 24-13
24 to
over
13.
New England. But I could definitely see the game being close, even closer. So we'll see what happens. It just really depends. But I definitely think Seattle will probably pull it out. But I could see it being a really close game too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Just a quick reminder that I will be on Coach Eden's channel on a live stream, 4:00 p.m. on Monday. And then Wednesday, Johnny and I, so that's next Monday. And then next Wednesday, Johnny and I will be back for Real Talk, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. We do have one question real quick. Hold on. Someday I'm going to talk to you into hiking some of the awesome hiking trails in the Los Hills area. Just warning you. So there you go. You're going to have to
Yeah,
hike.
that'd be all right. I gotta try. That's one thing I'm looking forward to: nicer weather and getting moving around a lot. Cynthia, I still have troubles with my back. My problem is I can't go that far, and I start having back pain. So I kind of am real careful on how far I go. I find that's one thing I find out. It's a little more hilly around here. I find it difficult, but that's something I got to build myself up and be able to do more of that. As the weather gets nicer, I'm definitely going to do that. We have a nice trail around the lake that we live by, and I plan on walking that quite a bit. So something to work towards for me on my end. But that'd be awesome to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it an evening then from that. Again, thanks everybody for joining. And on Super Bowl Sunday, do your best to stay on track as best as you can. If you
Yeah.
do eat something you shouldn't, don't get too upset with yourself. Just get right back to it. And everybody have a great evening. You
Thanks,
bet.
Brian. It was a good time. See you, everybody.
All right. Bye, Greg.